What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Deaths of the Asia. I had to jump on here real quick and talk about this Romeo Miller versus Master P debacle that is going down on social media, which I wish they would have left this behind scenes. This is very much family business, and we don't need to be part of this chat, but here we are. So if y'all do not know, Romeo went off on Master P following a post that he made about DJ Twitch that recently passed away from unaliving himself, right? So anyway, so Master P's daughter, which is Romeo's sister, she did the same thing not too long ago. And so Master P made a post giving his condolences to DJ Twitch, talking about how mental health is real and all of this or whatnot. So I guess Romeo felt some type of way about that, and he's still mourning the loss of his sister. And he takes to social media and he started talking about how, it's very funny how you can give support to people who you don't know but don't support your own. And I'm paraphrasing, I'm just summarizing here because I'm not going to be here all night. I'm not going to hold you. So Romeo is like, okay, how dare you give your condolences and talk about mental health and everything when you haven't been there for your children. So this whole rant that has been going on, I was thinking that this has something to do with the DJ Twitch thing. So I gave Romeo a pass because you can't really tell people how to mourn, and when people are hurting, they bleed on people that didn't cut them. A lot of times, you really can't tell people how to mourn and how to process a loss. So because he had experienced such a severe loss, I said, let me give him a pass. I'm not going to trip off of it. I didn't like the fact that out of nowhere, here comes Romeo blasting his pops, which I think it took away from the moment where Master P was giving his condolences to somebody else. And then here come Romeo with his personal grievances towards his dad, which I feel as if that was a little bit disrespectful to the memory of DJ Twitch. I understand Lil Romeo is hurting, but it's a time, it's a place for all things. Things have to be done in decent and in order. But nevertheless, he took to social media and he said what he said. He spoke his speech. I gave him a pass. So he kept going and going and going. And Master P made some responses to Romeo on social media as well. And the last post that Romeo made regarding it before he started becoming a subliminal and writing parables, which he called is poems, but this shit wasn't rhyming. Before he started doing that, excuse me, I'm still a little under the weather. Before he started doing that or whatever, he had the last post that just like, I'm finna air all of this out, was him talking about how his dad didn't support them financially. His mom was right about him. And, the world gotta know that Master P ain't who we thought he was, and basically trying to tarnish his reputation and saying that Master P is addicted to social media, and the only way he's able to interact with his father is via social media. And he was just talking about how the money that was made from his stardom, Lil Romeo's stardom, he used that money to help Master P with his taxes, and he didn't see any of that money. And he was like, Silk and C can tell y'all about this. And so basically he's looking at it like Master P used him as a product in order to get more money, and wasn't actually treating him like his son. So now I'm like, okay, so this is a little different. So it sounds like to me you use this DJ Twitch situation in order to crack the door open to talk about something else, because at this point this has nothing to do with you mourning the loss of your sister or anything like that. All of this family business being aired out was just unnecessary. No one asked for this. Ain't nobody checking for Master P. Listen, Romeo, let me tell you something, baby. Ain't nobody checking for no limit CD. Master P, he peaked in the 90s. So we're not checking for no body CD no more. Them shoes funny looking. So we ain't checking for them shoes. Them Fruit Loops can't get off the ground. The noodles, they alright. Them wrap snacks, they alright. But Master P just be putting out a whole bunch of products that don't do too well without you ruining his reputation. So it's neither here nor there at this point. You trying to ruin somebody's reputation when you're gonna ruin your own reputation. Master P has already made his legacy. You know what I'm saying? He did what needed to be done. You're at the point you got a child now. You have to create your legacy or continue to build upon your legacy. This social media stuff is not gonna hurt Master P old ass. It's gonna hurt you. Right now, at this particular point, ain't nobody checking for Master P to do nothing but get on here every day and talk about it's some haters in the neighborhood, walk down the street from his mansion and whistle and sing and give us a motivational speech. That's the only thing we checking for Master P for, and a little bit of a Legends of Hip Hop tour. That's about it. So for you to be thinking that you about to ruin Master P reputation, or we care to do some deep diving and try to figure out what you're trying to say, we do not care. At this particular point, you talking about the money and everything like that or whatever. You act like your daddy is a sugar daddy or something. You treating your pops like he a sugar daddy. That's just what it is. Because come on now, at this point, you 30 or 30 plus at this point, and you got enough money. You might not have the money that you think you ought to have based on who your father is, but he can't give you everything. He gave you exposure, you know, and that's a lot more than a lot of kids had growing up. He gave you exposure. And I know that you talked about, well, what happened to the rest of my siblings? Why I'm the only one that is in the limelight, but they're not in the limelight? Maybe they want that damn cute. Maybe they can rap a little bit like you. We never know. And once you the firstborn, so it's different. And then too, you gotta understand something. A lot of parents that are in the media, they sometimes will push their newborn in the media because they be so excited about having a kid. They don't know how that is going to do to their child. They be so excited about having a kid, want their kid to be a star as well. Then they realize like the scrutiny and the things that child has to deal with, to where when they have other kids, they like, damn, I really don't want them in a spotlight like that. Hence, Beyonce and Jay-Z. You see how they push Blue Ivy? She's in the media and everything. And now she get ridiculed and talked about like she's an adult. So now what's the little other kid's name? Rumi and Sir? They not in the media like that because that's part of now the parents know better. Because you will think because of who you are, people will take to your kids because they claim to love you. So you think they're going to love your kids too. And then they treat your kids like anybody else. They get mad at you. They want to drag your kid and all of that. So a lot of people, they realize like maybe I need to keep my kids out of the spotlight, and maybe I need to let my kids decide what it is that they want to do. A lot of times when you have successful parents in a certain field, they want their kids to grow up and be like they were because that's their idea of success, right? So maybe he got to the point where he's like, you know what? Let me not strip them of their childhood. I apologize for doing this to you, Romeo, but I thought this was the right thing to do. But these other kids that's coming behind you, let me not put them in the limelight and let them just do their thing, and they grow and they be individuals in their own right. So I get that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not mad at Master P for that. Them other kids, they making it do what it do or whatever. And clearly, based on how Romeo is coming out in the media blasting his dad, it's probably good that Master P didn't get them all them kids all that other stuff, because Romeo don't believe fat meat greasy. He down in the shade room, the Hollywood Unlocked, Every blog you could think of, he down in every blog that you could think of, talking about his dad, dragging this man, dragging an icon, dragging a legend over some petty stuff. I could see if it was something real deep, then I get it. But I'm gonna give Master P a piece too, right? This is something that I don't like about parents. Let me tell y'all something. Kids don't owe y'all shit. Kids don't owe y'all. The kids don't have none to prove to y'all. Kids are not here to make y'all happy. Kids don't owe you nothing for taking care of them and quote unquote sacrificing, like Master P said. You the one laid up and had them kids. They didn't ask to be here. Whatever needs to be done to take care of your kids, that's what you got to do. And while Master P sitting up here talking about all the sacrifices that he made for his kids, let me tell you something. When you was on the road making all that no limit money, run around talking about make them say and all that or whatever the case may be, you were actually sacrificing your kids because you weren't able to spend as much time with them. And a lot of parents that are not able to be present and spend a lot of time with their kids, they compensate with material things. So it's a double-edged sword. So with Master P sitting up here talking about, oh, I had to sacrifice for y'all, you were supposed to do whatever needs to be done to take care of your family. He don't owe you nothing. He don't owe you nothing for that. Nothing. Now, if Romeo complaint was, I could see if Romeo complaint was, you didn't spend enough time with us, and I feel like since I'm a father now, I'm not able to connect with my child, or I feel as though there were some things missing in my childhood that I wasn't able to connect with, or whatever that is bleeding into my relationship with my child. If it was something like that, I can understand Romeo. But no, you talking about some money. You're a grown ass man. You got to get up, get out, and get something at this particular point. So we don't want to hear you a little bit too old for that. You should have did that around 15, 16 years old. You should have started that shit when 50 Cent son started his shit. That's when you should have started it or whatever. And then people probably have a little bit more sympathy for you if you would have started it that way. But you can't get this old and then all of a sudden you talking about, well, he didn't do this and he didn't do that. It doesn't work like that. And Master P, he do a good job. Well, I'm gonna say he did a good job in how he responded to him. Even though I didn't like the fact that he responded on social media, I like the way that he responded. He said, whatever it is that I did, I do apologize for it. I apologize for it, and I'm willing to have a conversation with you. I love you, son. You know what I'm saying? That was real to me, because a lot of people were clowning Romeo because he's so old and he coming out with how he feel about something. Like I said, if his grievances was that something is mentally bothering him or emotionally bothering him, and he's this big old age and he feel like he need to lash out at his pops for it, I would get it. Because the thing is, people are in one breath talk about how you deal with childhood trauma in your adulthood, but when adults speak on their childhood trauma, all of a sudden it's like, well, you grown now, you just need to get over it, until they do something to themselves. Just because he's grown don't mean that he can't feel some type of way about his childhood and his upbringing. But baby, you can't come on these people internet talking about some money. You can't do that. You had a career. You was back there with them boys coming up in the screen tours with uh Bow Wow and Soldier Boy and all them or whatever. You had you a career. You still have you a name. You still have skills and talents in order to get you a bag. Like, people are still here for you, Romeo. Like, people still like you. Bow Wow didn't veer off too well as growing up from being a child star. He didn't veer off too well. You did pretty good. People still like and respect you. Whereas Bow Wow, he's a totally different breed. We don't know what's going on with Bow Wow, what he's feeling, what he ain't feeling. But I think that the people in general have been able to accept and respect the fact that Romeo is grown now. Whereas someone like Bow Wow, he's never been able to outlive those younger days when he was just a child star. He's still little Bow Wow, Mr. 106 in Park. Like, people cannot see past that. So count your blessings, Romeo, that you're able to even be viewed as a grown man. And you're able to be into spaces. Like, I seen Romeo coming out with this movie, A Christmas Miracle, with LaToya Luckett, and she's apparently his love interest in a Christmas movie. Bow Wow wouldn't have been able to do nothing like that, because they've been like, why in the hell is she in a video, in a movie with Lil Bow Wow? She old enough to be his mama and all this all kinds of stuff or whatever, which both of them are grown, right? That's an example of the difference of how the world sees you. We see you as a grown man. You know, you're respected as a grown man. Act like a grown man. It wasn't no reason in hell for you to get on social media sitting up here talking about your daddy. We not gonna do that. We not gonna do that. Because one thing about it is, what we gonna do? This is the thing that I don't understand about people who get on social media and they get the blasting people about inside stuff that we're not privy to, and we really don't give a damn about. Like, the last thing that we thought was gonna be on our timeline is Romeo versus Master P, right? What do y'all think that we're supposed to do? Only thing we gonna do is use the situation for a little laughter and something to talk about to help build our channels. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. We ain't finna do nothing else with the info. We're not canceling Master P because you think the man a sugar daddy. We not canceling Master P. Get over it. Now, that part, I'm gonna tell you, you gotta get over that. You know what I'm saying? Because you thinking because your father have this much money, he's supposed to give you so much money. It doesn't work like that. Parents are, this is the thing, kids don't owe parents nothing. And parents don't owe kids nothing but to provide them with the necessary things in order to survive and to be able to be a good law-abiding citizens in this world. That's the only thing. They don't owe you no extra. A parent don't owe you no new car when you turn 16 years old. They don't owe you no career. They don't owe you nothing but to provide food, shelter, and clothing for your ass, and make sure you get an education, if that's what you know, that's the path that you choose to take. That's the only thing parents gotta do. All that extra stuff, that's on you. And because Master P was rich, you feel like he was supposed to do so much, and he did a whole lot for you. Your name is on everything, and if you're so concerned about your siblings, then you use your platform now, and you use whatever resources you have now to uplift them. And to be honest with you, it seemed like to me that your siblings are not interested in living their life because they see how chaotic it is by being around y'all and seeing what y'all have had to do, I had to deal with being under the microscope. So I'm not here for little Romeo coming for Master P. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Do y'all think Romeo is wrong, or do y'all think Master P is wrong? Because I don't feel like Master P is wrong at all. And I don't feel like if Romeo really had an issue and felt some type of way, it felt like Master P could have done more as far as his sister is concerned. I get that part. But let me tell you something about how mental illness works. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell y'all two things that I want y'all to digest. I hope y'all pick up what I'm putting down. Everybody that unalive themselves are not suffering from a mental illness. Let's be very clear. I need y'all to quit trying to make it seem like mental illness is one of those things that you just randomly just pop out and you just do anything. Like, there are levels to it. You know, in all kinds of things could be considered a mental illness, right? So it's almost a mockery when every time somebody do something to themselves or do something that you don't feel like is right or something that you wouldn't do, you're like, oh, they suffer from a mental illness. I need y'all to understand that everybody threshold for bullshit and pain is not the same. So you could very well all of a sudden have a moment where you snap. It could happen. All of a sudden you could be boom, you snap. And next thing you know, you done did something, you got people talking about, oh, you mentally ill. And that you was mentally ill. And that's not always the case. So you gotta be real careful with that, because you could offend people and you're not even realizing that you're offending people, because it's a lot of people that deal with mental illness that would never think to do something like that to themselves. And you never know what a person is going through to make them do that. So that's one thing. Excuse me. That's one thing y'all need to take into consideration. And another thing is that what y'all need to take into consideration as well is that people have a right to express themselves, and people have a right to use their platforms any way they choose to use their platforms. But they have to be careful. They really do have to be careful. And when it comes to family business and you earn people out, I do not understand for the life of me what people think they get from doing that. I just really don't get it. Like what do you think we're supposed to do? What? We can't do anything about you talking about what happened financially between you and your father. We can't turn that man upside down and take his lunch money and make him give it to you. You know what I'm saying? We can't do that. So that part, you just gonna have to get over it. And we do have to start being able to have conversations like this, be able to compartmentalize what is going on so we can speak intelligently about things, because everything we sometimes we run everything together and make everything one in the same. Because quiet as it's kept, while people sitting up here talking about mental illnesses as it pertains to DJ Twitch, hell, Romeo seemed to be experiencing some type of meltdown or breakdown where somebody needs to seek help for him, because when have Romeo got out his bag like that? Like, he got out his bag real bad. So somebody, while he's sitting up here writing poems and parables and dropping Bible verses and everything or whatever, trying to lean towards the Lord, you need to lean towards a therapist. You really do need to lean towards a therapist, because you talking about your daddy on social media is not of the Lord. So I need you to stop even putting Bible verses at the end of your rants, because it's not of the Lord. It ain't. That ain't gonna get you into heaven. Last time I checked, that was a sure way to hell. So get it together. Don't be bringing Jesus and Michael and the archangels into your BS. You know what I'm saying? It's too much stuff that's going on in the world. It's too much that the Lord got to deal with, to be dealing with you in your foolishness, and you talking about some money. You're bringing the Lord in it. The Lord got people that he need to be curing of cancer and all type of terminal illnesses or whatever. He has no time to be worrying about you and your daddy in some financial issues, when they said money is the root of all evil anyway. You're going to mess around and use a Bible verse, and next thing you know, you're going to get struck by lightning because you're playing with God. That's what's going to happen to you. You better quit playing with God, bringing God into that BS, because that's not of the Lord. I'm not here for it. Romeo needs to get it together and quit trying to treat his daddy like he's a sugar daddy. That's what he needs to do. And Master P, I'm gonna tell y'all something about Master P, because I've been going to Master P concerts, listening to Master P since I was in, well, it was a high school, but we was middle school age. The school went from 7th to 12th grade. It was real ghetto. But the school I went to, it was a high school, but I was somewhere in 7th or 8th grade, right? Master P used to come to our school, and he was with his wife at the time, Romeo's mama. They'll come to the school or whatever, perform. Master P giving speeches to the. I'm talking about Master P is the most long-winded artist that I know. You know what I'm saying? To this day, Master P still, if y'all ever went to a Master P concert, y'all know I'm not lying. Master P is going to get on that microphone. He going to give you a speech. He going to give you a sermon. And then you going to be enough forgot about who made him say in a minute. You know what I'm saying? After a minute, you just like, let him use you. You better preach. You know what I'm saying? Because goddamn, Master P, we came here to act a fool, and you motivating us or whatever. So you done made us simmer down and everything. You done came with too much positive vibes, and we trying to be real negative right now. And here you go with all the positive vibes and affirmations and things we need to think about the next day. Master P is long-winded, and he do talk a lot. He do think he know every goddamn thing or whatever. And sometimes he be getting on my nerves, whistling and walking down that street talking about there's some haters in the neighborhood and ain't nobody outside but his ass. So I don't know who he talking about. Where are the neighbors? Ain't nobody waved at you or nothing like that. You don't see no cars passing. It's just Master P down the street talking loud on his cell phone, fucking with the neighborhood. Master P, HOA. HOA gonna get on Master P ass. Because when I think about it, bro, why you be up early in the morning, running and walking down the neighborhood, fucking with folks? It's some haters in the neighborhood. Nigga, you disturbing the peace. You know what I'm saying? You is disturbing the peace. But where the haters? That's what I want to know. Ain't no damn hater. Your son a hater. That's the hater. That's be so crazy how your enemies be that close to you, just right there, this close to you. Your son a hater. You know what I'm saying? And Percy and Hersey, they need to whoop little Romeo ass if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? Because you couldn't have got on the internet talking about my daddy. I don't care what he did to you or us, bitch. You not coming on the internet blasting my daddy. After I get out of basketball practice and when school let out, you know, Hersey and Percy, they in school. One of them hooping, the other one going to school for we don't know what. But when school let out for the winter break and they come home for Christmas or whatever the case may be, they need to be gearing up to whoop little Romeo ass. Because ain't nowhere in the hell you finna get on social media and talk about my daddy. No, sir. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. It better be some head busting going on. That's the next thing that I need to hear in the news, that Romeo caught the fade. That's what I want to hear. If I don't hear that, I don't want to hear nothing else from these Miller people. I don't want to hear nothing else. The Millers, they just took over our internet. Here it is. You goddamn see murder, disturbing people. Talking about free him or whatever. We can't do nothing about that. You got Lil Romeo disturbing people. You got Master P disturbing the neighborhood. Lil Romeo, he disturbed Silk the Shocker. Silk the Shocker don't want to have nothing to do with it. Mystical, he ain't part of the family, but he part of the family because he no limit. He ran here still stealing pussy. You know what I'm saying? So it's just too much going on with the Millers. I'm tired of them. At this point, I'm really tired of the Millers. They gonna have to get off my timeline with their BS. But for real, at the end of the day, family business need to be handled in-house. There was absolutely no reason for Lil Romeo to come to the internet with that. We ain't need it. We didn't ask for it. We don't want it. Take it back. Give us 100% refund. We don't want it. We don't want it. That was just sad to see because it just came out of left field. And I hope this doesn't damage Lil Romeo's reputation in his career, because I'm going to tell y'all something too. Lil Romeo coming out with this movie with LaToya Luckett, The Christmas Miracle, which I am going to see that. It looks really good. But it's just funny to me that you done got into it with your pops because I mean, even though people respect Romeo, ain't nobody really checking for Romeo like that. So you done got into it with your pops. So I'm thinking that Romeo felt like he was used as a child. He felt like he was exploited as a child. So now what he finna do is do the using and doing the exploitation. He finna do the pimping. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's giving me. Like he's doing this for clout because there has been too many speeches that I have seen from Romeo talking about, the admiration and respect that he has for his father for him to do this. I really hope and pray that this boy is not trying to, use this moment to chase clout to help his movie or whatnot. And to be quiet as it's kept, Romeo, you handsome or whatever the case may be. And, I probably ain't in no position to be talking about nobody's body, but I ain't around here in movies with my shirt off either. You probably could have did a little bit more bitch pressing if you ask me, a little more curl ups or something before you hopped in that movie too. I just want to put that out there. It was a couple of more gym days that needed to be had before you hopped in there, but it's all right. But it is very much giving Dad Bob like you the one that pushed that baby out. That's what it's looking like. But I'm not body shaming nobody or whatever because I am in no position. Do not get to be dragging me and calling me all kind of fat bitches and shit. Bitch, I knew I was fat before I went live. I could say what I want to say. So don't get to talking about me. Well, I'm saying I ain't the one under the microscope doing movies and shit. So I'm talking about what I have seen. I am a movie critic. Okay. And with being a movie critic, I am able to say what looks good and what doesn't look good, which I ain't mad at little Romeo. He got confidence. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But it was a couple of more little, you know what I'm saying? A little bit more of this shit right here. That would have did it. That would have did it. Put 35 on this end, 35 on that end. That would have just do a little bit more of this, whatever this shit is. Little butterfly weightlifting or whatever y'all be doing. Do some butterfly curls or whatever. Get your breastplate. You know what I'm saying? Tighten it all up or whatever. It's giving loose skin. It's giving loose skin. But anyway, I am not finna drag little Romeo in his C-section. That is not what I'm here for. But I want little Romeo to get his shit together. Don't be on here talking about your daddy. But while I'm on here, let me talk about Lil Bow Wow real quick since I brought him up. I don't trust niggas that be wearing ponytails and man buns anyway. But Lil Bow Wow is giving me every other reason not to because Jermaine Dupri went onto an interview telling his story. This is a moment in time in history before Lil Bow Wow was the Bow Wow that we know today, right? Before he blew up, before he was the child star that we know today, right? Jermaine Dupri, he got onto an interview and he had said that he came up with the idea of 106 in Park for Little Bow Wow because the white kids had TRL and they needed something for the black talented kids. And so he came up with the idea of 106 in Park. Now, honestly, I ain't gonna lie. When I heard that, I was just like, man, this shit cap. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of a sudden, you telling me you came up with a show for a Little Bow Wow, and he had to pretty much work his way into being Mr. 106 in Park. You get what I'm saying? So I'm kind of thinking to myself, this sound like cap. But anyway, that's Jermaine Dupri story. That's his story. He's sticking to it, right? Here come Lil Bow Wow. He did not have to do this. Bow Wow is disrespectful as hell. He really got that light skin energy that I do not like. Them light skin niggas be sleeping in a fetal position. Anytime you got somebody, I'm talking about walking around with buns and all this old kind of stuff or whatever, got real real bad bitch energy. I just don't like that coming from no man. But anyway, that's a light skinned nigga for you. So Bow Wow, he done went to social media talking about Jermaine Dupri cap. That's a lie. He need to quit lying on the people who actually created the show, this, that, and the third. Bow Wow, what's your issue? What's your problem? Bow Wow always be coming to for Jermaine Dupri. This man even had enough nerve to say he would have been better off if he would have stayed signed with Snoop Dogg versus signing with Jermaine Dupri. Bitch, if you would have stayed signing with Snoop Dogg, they would have had your little ass running to the store to go get cigars and loose cigarettes and tall cans. Only thing you would have been good for us to come back with a Coke 45, a loose Newport, and a cigar. That's the only thing you would have been good for. And they would have just let your little ass sit around and you just rap in a circle in the neighborhood or whatever the case may be. You would have been the next crackhead in the making had you stayed with Snoop and them. Them people at that particular time, Snoop and them, they was it. They were. I don't even know why people be acting like Snoop was a hoe or something. Like he was just a good guy. You know what I'm saying? He cleaned up his image. Snoop was in the streets. He ain't have no business running around with some little young nigga talking about he want to be a Nickelodeon kid and shit. Go take him to somebody that deal with children and know how to put kids on the map. Jermaine Dupri had done work with Chris Cross and them. He had done work with the Brat. You see what he did with them people or whatever. Snoop loved Bow Wow enough, cared about Bow Wow enough, and said, you know what? We thugging down here. You ain't got no business down here with your little narrow ass. What we finna do is take you down south, and you finna go over here on So Deaf with somebody that know how to deal with children. And that's what he did. And look what became of Bow Wow. This shit would have never happened if he would have stayed with Snoop. It would have never happened because Snoop had to evolve. Snoop had to change. So it's disrespectful as all get out for him to be clowning and dragging Jermaine Dupri. And then here come the Brat. Brat jump in and was like, you know, you disrespectful. All the things that JD did for you in your career, and you had once looked at him as your pops, and now you want to disrespect him like that? Brad said, come see me. And you know Brad, she good for busting somebody in the head with a ball or whatever. Bow Wow don't go around by that lady house talking shit and think, you know what I'm saying, she won't hit your ass in the head with a Moscato bottle. Please don't go around by Brett house. Let her calm down because we don't want her to go back to jail because you know she's swinging. He need to do better. He need to do better, and he need to respect. He need to have some respect for Jermaine Dupri. I could see if it was a thing where there was some news that came out before that Jermaine Dupri had did him wrong or whatever. I wouldn't be mad at him blasting him. But Jermaine Dupri ain't did none to that boy. The only time I heard some bad stuff about Jermaine Dupri was when he was fooling with them Escape girls. When Candy felt some type of way about him. And I ain't gonna get into that. But from my recollection, the only thing I could think about, the only time I could think about people having a problem with Jermaine Dupri was Candy Burris. And her problem was, their problem was different. We ain't gonna get into all that, but their problem was different. And then Bow Wow, he was sitting up there talking about somehow, I'm finna hurry up and get off here because I'm constantly coughing and shit. Bow Wow was talking about how Jermaine Dupri fumbled Janet Jackson. Let me tell y'all something. Bow Wow, you done fumbled a whole bunch of women, bitch, and you're about to fumble yourself. You hear me? So quit worrying about what Jermaine Dupri fumbled. You worrying about some pussy if Jermaine Dupri fumbled that you don't even have access to be honest. Let's be very clear. You know what I'm saying? Janet won't even look your little small way. So quit worrying about what Jermaine Dupri done fumbled, right? My thing is this. What people got to understand when it comes to these men, it comes to women in relationships or whatever, once you get to dealing with somebody, regardless of their money, their status, and who they supposed to be, they just become a regular person to you after a while. People do not be in relationships idolizing the person that they're in a relationship with. Janet done got on some nigga nerves just like every other woman done got on some nigga nerves. You know what I'm saying? These ain't nobody no different than nobody else. Everybody come with something. Quit idolizing people because they have money or they probably look a certain type of way. Just because this person is Janet Jackson doesn't mean that she's perfect. Now, granted, Jermaine Dupri did some shit that he shouldn't have done, cheating on the lady and all of that or whatever. But why do people feel like celebrities, for some reason, because they celebrity, they are immune to the human experience? They are immune to dealing with the stuff we deal with. They deal with everything that we deal with. Every single thing that we deal with. Like, they cry in the car too. It might not be a Honda. It might be a Bentley, but they cry in the car too. They go through shit too. They're people too. So I'll be getting it. Oh my God, you fumbled Janet Jackson. Oh my God. She's still a woman and she still want love and affection and all that, just like any other woman. She still want the same things from a man, just like any other woman. And just because Jermaine Dupri is Jermaine Dupri, he just like any other man. I'm not trying to take anything away from neither one of them. I'm just trying to say, like, when people be talking about, oh my God, I can't believe this person got cheated on. I can't believe you fumbled this person. That shit be like, what? I don't be getting it because they're just a human. But anyway, Lil Bow Wow better get his narrow ass together because nobody is really checking for him. I don't know what's up with these children. Lil Bow Wow and Lil Romeo, they run around here acting like they plotting. You remember when you was little and you get mad at your parents and you get to talking to your friend and y'all be plotting to run away from home together? That's what it's giving. Like, is y'all niggas finna run away from home together or something? Cause why y'all on the internet throwing temper tantrums about y'all parents? Cause at this point, Jermaine Dupri, your father figure, Lil Bow Wow, and Romeo Master P is your pops. So y'all need to get it together. Ain't nowhere in the hell I get on the internet blasting my parents like that. I don't give a damn what they did. They'll have to do something to me on the internet, and I come to them on the internet. Now, people were saying that Master P should have responded on the internet. Yes, he should have. You know what I'm saying? Lil Romeo blasted that man on the internet. He had a right to come out and say something on the internet. He came out, he represented it, he said what needed to be said. Is that on that? I just hope he don't come back. I hope Master P, you know what I'm saying, don't use this to be passive aggressive either. Because if he get to walking down that street whistling, talking about haters in the neighborhood or whatever, and throwing shots at Lil Romeo, I'm gonna be right back on here on Master P ass. Master P, do not get on the social media. Do not go down to Instagram whistling, walking down the street, throwing slugs at your son. You know what I'm saying? Keep on telling us how, we could be great and sell cereal too. That's what I need you to do. That's it. That's all. Anyway, thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'm about to tune out. If y'all have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, like button, share, all that good stuff. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'm about to tune out. Y'all have a good one.
I hope you black men were paying attention. I hope you black men were paying attention.